A woman's eyes are like an open book, even when her lips remain sealed. When a woman is quietly attracted to you, her gaze often says what her words won't. You'll notice it in those subtle, almost imperceptible moments, the quick glances when she thinks you're not looking, the way her eyes linger a little longer than they should, or that unmistakable sparkle when you speak. She may not make any bold moves, but her eyes will betray the feeling she's trying to keep hidden. It's not about her staring at you nonstop. It's about those fleeting moments when your eyes meet and she quickly looks away, pretending she wasn't watching you at all. That nervous yet soft energy in her gaze is a sign that she's feeling something, even if she hasn't fully admitted it to herself yet. Women are often more careful with their words than men, but emotions are harder to mask in their eyes. There's a warmth there, a softness that shows she's letting her guard down in your presence. When you speak, her attention sharpens. It's like her eyes are drinking in your words, your tone, even your presence. She might smile without realizing it or hold your gaze for a second too long before shyly turning away. These aren't random acts, they're her subconscious way of connecting with you without risking outright rejection. Think about those times when you've walked into a room and caught her looking in your direction. She might quickly pretend to be busy with her phone or a conversation, but that brief look tells you she's aware of you, maybe even drawn to you. And it's not just about where her eyes land, it's about how they do it. A woman who feels nothing for you might glance at you the way she does anyone else, but one who's quietly interested will let her gaze soften, almost like she's letting you in without saying a word. And this kind of attraction is often subtle because many women don't want to be obvious, especially if they're not sure how you feel in return. So her eyes become her safest outlet, a quiet invitation for you to notice her, to sense the unspoken connection. What's powerful here is that you don't have to chase or force anything. By simply being present, confident, and in control of your energy, you create the space for her to express her interest in this silent but powerful way. When you can read these signs, you'll understand that attraction often starts long before a single word is exchanged. Her eyes will tell you what her mouth won't, that you've captured her attention, that you've sparked a feeling she can't quite ignore. And the beauty of this is that it's genuine, unplanned, and pure. The kind of attraction that doesn't need to be begged for, only recognized. Because when a woman's eyes light up around you, that's the truest sign she's quietly drawn to something about you that words alone can never express. When a woman is quietly attracted to you, her body language often reveals the truth long before her words ever will. It's subtle, almost like a hidden language only those who pay attention can understand. She might not openly admit her feelings, but the way she moves, reacts, and positions herself around you tells a story you can't ignore. One of the clearest signs is how she leans in when you speak, even in group settings. It's as if her body instinctively wants to be closer to you, drawn by an invisible pull she can't control. She might not even realize she's doing it, but you will if you're observant. Her feet might point in your direction even when she's engaged in conversation with others, signaling where her true attention lies. Or maybe she mirrors your gestures without thinking, sipping her drink when you do, adjusting her posture to match yours, or smiling in sync with your expressions. These small acts of mirroring aren't random, they are unconscious signals of connection and interest. It's her body aligning with yours, quietly telling you, I'm in tune. Another common sign is the subtle nervous energy she gives off when you're around. She might play with her hair, adjust her clothes, or find reasons to fidget, not out of discomfort, but because your presence sparks a certain excitement in her. She wants to look her best without making it obvious, so she'll smooth her hair or check her outfit in small, almost unnoticeable ways. At the same time, she'll try to maintain her composure, pretending it's just casual, when deep down, she's very aware of you. Touch is another powerful cue. She may not initiate full contact, but she'll find excuses for those light, casual touches. A hand on your arm when she laughs, a playful nudge, or brushing something off your shoulder. These fleeting touches are her way of testing the waters, building a subtle connection while keeping it playful and non-threatening. Even her proximity to you can be telling. In social settings, she might naturally gravitate toward where you are, choosing to sit closer or position herself within your space without making it obvious. She's not trying to invade your bubble. She's drawn to your energy and wants to feel that sense of closeness without explicitly saying it. All of these signals combine to create a picture that words often fail to capture. Women are masters at subtlety, and their quiet attraction often reveals itself in these instinctive behaviors. When you pick up on these cues, it's like unlocking a secret conversation happening beneath the surface. A conversation that says she feels a connection, even if she hasn't found the courage to put it into words. Because when her body speaks in ways her mouth doesn't, that's when you know her attraction is real, natural, and undeniable. When a woman is quietly attracted to you, her eyes will often give her away long before she ever says a word. Eye contact is one of the strongest, most unfiltered signals of interest, and it often happens without her even realizing it. You might catch her glancing at you from across the room, only for her to quickly look away when your eyes meet, pretending as if nothing happened. That split second of shyness isn't just coincidence, it's her instinctively trying to hide her curiosity, but in reality, it's one of the clearest signs that you've caught her attention. Sometimes it's not about how often she looks at you, but how long her gaze lingers when you talk to her. When a woman is attracted, her eyes will soften, her pupils might even dilate, and she'll focus on you with an intensity that makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. This kind of gaze isn't casual, it's her way of silently saying she's interested without taking the risk of saying it out loud. There's Even in group settings, when the conversation isn't directed at you, pay attention to where her eyes go. She might be scanning the room, but every few seconds they'll return to you, almost like a magnetic pull. And if she smiles when your eyes meet, even subtly, that's an even stronger sign. It's her subconscious trying to build a small connection to create a moment between you that only the two of you share, even in a crowded space. There's also the playful kind of eye contact, quick glances followed by a shy smile or even a small laugh. This is her testing the waters, seeing if you'll respond, trying to gauge your reaction without putting herself in a vulnerable position. That kind of interaction shows she's comfortable enough to flirt in her own quiet way without saying a single word. And sometimes her eyes do more than just look at you, they light up when you enter the room. That spark, that instant change in her expression is hard to fake. It's almost like her entire face brightens when you're around, and you can sense the shift in her energy even before she says hello. It's important to remember that not all eye contact is the same. A polite glance is different from a gaze filled with curiosity, warmth, or quiet admiration. The key is in the consistency. If you keep catching her looking, if her expression changes when your eyes meet, or if she holds your gaze just a little longer than normal, those are all signs that her attraction runs deeper than she's letting on. Because when a woman's eyes keep finding you in a room full of distractions, it's not an accident. It's her quiet way of showing you that you've captured her attention and maybe even her interest. One of the most telling signs that a woman is quietly attracted to you is how she mirrors your actions without even realizing it. This isn't something deliberate, it's a natural psychological response when someone feels a connection or interest. If you lean in slightly during a conversation, she might do the same. If you cross your arms or take a sip of your drink, moments later you might notice her subtly doing the same thing. This silent synchronization is her way of aligning with your energy, a subconscious attempt to create a sense of harmony between the two of you. This mirroring can also show up in her speech and expressions. Maybe you notice her using similar phrases or matching your tone during conversations. If you tend to speak with enthusiasm, she starts to match that energy. If you're calm and measured, she might naturally soften her tone to mirror yours. This isn't about copying you. It's about a quiet desire to be in sync, to make you feel like you're on the same wavelength. People naturally do this when they're drawn to someone because it builds a feeling of comfort and connection without a word being said. You might also see her adopting little habits or preferences that seem oddly aligned with yours. Maybe you casually mention your favorite coffee spot, and a week later, she just happens to be there. Or you talk about a hobby you love, and suddenly she starts asking questions about it or even trying it herself. These aren't coincidences, they're subtle ways of bridging the gap and creating common ground with you. What's fascinating about mirroring is that it often happens in the smallest details. The way she adjusts her posture when you do, the way she laughs a little louder when you're animated, or the way she pauses in conversation at the same time you do. These quiet actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but together they paint a clear picture of someone who is not only paying attention to you, but also trying, even subconsciously, to make you feel a sense of closeness. The beauty of this sign is that it bypasses words. She doesn't have to tell you she's interested. Her actions speak for her. When a woman is subtly mirroring you, it means you've captured her attention enough that her body and mind are syncing up to match your vibe. It's a form of silent connection that feels natural and unforced, which is often why people don't even realize it's happening. So when you notice her matching your pace, reflecting your gestures, or subtly aligning her behavior with yours, understand that this isn't random. It's a quiet but powerful sign that she feels a pull toward you, one strong enough to influence the way she interacts without her ever saying a word. Another subtle yet undeniable sign that a woman is quietly attracted to you is how she finds reasons to spend time around you, even when she doesn't need to. It's rarely about her coming right out and saying, I like you. Instead, she'll create opportunities, small, seemingly innocent chances to be in your presence. Maybe she suddenly shows up at places she knows you frequent, joins the same group activities, or even lingers a bit longer after conversations just to keep the interaction going. These aren't coincidences, they're intentional choices, quietly signaling that being near you makes her feel good. Think about it. People naturally gravitate toward the energy they're drawn to. And attraction works in exactly that way. If you notice her making an extra effort to be in the same environment as you, whether that's at work, social events, or even online spaces, it's her way of saying, without actually saying, that she values the comfort, excitement, or sense of connection she feels when you're around. And often this happens in ways that are subtle enough that you might dismiss them at first glance. Sometimes it's not about physical proximity alone, it's about keeping the communication alive. She might text you out of the blue with a random question, share a meme that reminded her of you, or casually start a conversation with no real purpose other than to engage. To an outsider, it might look like a friendly interaction, but to someone paying attention, it's a quiet attempt to maintain that invisible thread between you two. Another sign of this behavior is how she responds when you're the one to initiate. If you reach out, she doesn't just reply, she engages. She extends the conversation, asks questions, or suggests something that keeps the dialogue going. This shows that she's not just being polite, she's invested in maintaining that connection because deep down, she doesn't want to lose the sense of closeness she feels when you interact. These small but consistent actions can sometimes be more revealing than bold declarations because they're genuine and unfiltered. A woman who isn't interested won't go out of her way to create or prolong moments with you. She won't take those extra steps to ensure she's part of your world. So when you notice her quietly weaving herself into your orbit, it's a clear sign she values your presence more than she lets on. The key is to observe these patterns without overanalyzing. Recognize that her consistent effort, whether it's showing up where you are, engaging in meaningful conversations, or finding ways to stay connected, is her way of saying, I like being around you, even if she never utters those exact words. These are the quiet gestures of someone who's drawn to you, someone who feels something deeper, but might be waiting for the right moment or the right level of comfort to express it openly. One of the most telling signs that a woman is quietly attracted to you is how her emotions subtly shift in response to your actions or presence. Even when she tries to hide it, she may not say a word, but her body language, her tone, and even the energy she brings into the interaction will tell a story. When you walk into a room, you might notice her posture straighten, her voice soften, or her attention suddenly sharpen in your direction. These small changes aren't conscious decisions. They're instinctive reactions to how she feels around you. You might also see this in how her mood reacts to your availability. If you're busy and can't talk, there may be a slight disappointment in her tone, even if she tries to mask it with a casual response. On the other hand, when you engage with her, whether it's through a conversation, a smile, or a simple gesture, her energy shifts, and you can sense that spark of excitement she's trying to keep subtle. This quiet emotional mirroring is one of the most powerful signs of attraction because it's not something she can fake or control. Pay attention to how she interacts with others compared to you. Maybe she's confident and playful around her friends, but when it comes to you, she becomes slightly more nervous, reserved, or thoughtful with her words. Or maybe it's the opposite. Around you, she's more animated, more open, almost as if your presence pulls out a different, more vulnerable side of her. This dynamic shift is a reflection of how much you occupy her thoughts and emotions, even if she hasn't voiced it out loud. Another subtle sign lies in how she remembers the little things you share. She might recall something you said weeks ago or bring up a detail you thought she'd forgotten. This shows that she's not only paying attention, but that what you share resonates with her enough to stick. It's her way of quietly showing that you matter to her, even when she doesn't openly say it. Sometimes, her quiet attraction also reveals itself in moments of vulnerability. She may open up to you in ways she doesn't with others, sharing her thoughts, dreams, or fears because deep down she feels a sense of trust and emotional safety around you. She might not call it attraction, but her willingness to let you into that inner world speaks volumes about the depth of her feelings. These emotional cues, though subtle, are incredibly powerful because they go beyond surface level interaction. They show that you've impacted her in a way that stirs something deeper, something that words alone can't always express. When you notice these emotional shifts, understand that you're not just someone she likes, you're someone who has managed to connect with her on a level that few people do. And in that quiet space between what she shows and what she feels lies the undeniable truth of her attraction.